Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Hello, my name is Brad, Dr. Brad Lichtenstein, and welcome to joining me for another guided meditation. Whether you're joining me here through live stream or if you're on Clubhouse, welcome. So today, I wanted us to practice a little bit more with our breath. Starting in March, my plan is then to offer two different streams of guided meditation starting in March. I will be starting with a mindfulness meditation day, and then the other day I will be doing some breath work, but that will be in March. So today, I wanted to practice with befriending our breath. The breath, as you've been hearing probably anywhere you go, if you go to any meditation talks or are looking anything on stress reduction, the breath is really profound in changing our physiological state and hence our emotional state. And I'd like you to think about that for a moment. How you breathe is a clear indication of how you are orienting in the moment. Are you calm? Are you peaceful? So a lot of times we think, okay, what can I do when I'm feeling panic or stressed or anxious? But what I'd like us to do is first explore how we are breathing. And how we are breathing is so much more involved than just whether we're breathing in our chest and our belly. And in fact, that statement, breathing in our chest and our belly, is kind of misguided. We don't actually breathe in our belly. We don't actually have the belly fill up with air. When we talk about the movement of the body with the breath, what we're really speaking about is what muscles are moving and where in the body are they moving. Because in order to breathe, we need the rib cage to move. Our lungs are attached to our rib cage. So by changing the shape of our rib cage, we then allow the air to passively come into the lungs. So when we talk about breathing in the chest or in the belly, what we're saying is that different muscles are moving. So if I'm breathing in my chest, it could be a combination of many things. I could be constricting the belly in some way. I could be holding my abs tight, or I can be sitting in such a way that my rib cage are compressing on my lower abdominal area and the diaphragm, and hence it can't move. The most efficient way, I should say, functional way to breathe in an upright position, if you're sitting in that right now, is where the diaphragm fully moves and expands the bottom part of the rib cage. So the lower ribs flare out and then the belly expands, not just in the front, but the sides and the back. This expands the rib cage maximally so the air can flow in with more ease. Now, if my chest is moving, I'm usually using these other muscles in my neck, muscles in the ribs, and they can get easily fatigued. And that can be a lot of work on our body. So, one part of breathing is where in the body we're having movement of the muscles. Another part is the rate of our breathing. And so, we know conventional medical doctors will tell us that normal functional breathing at rest, not exercise, for adults is anywhere between 12 and 18 breaths per minute. And I'm going to say if we're at rest, we really would like that around 10 to 14 breaths per minute. But there's another thing here too. It's also how that rate of breath is happening. What's the inhale compared to the exhale? When we inhale, for all of us, we increase our sympathetic nervous system. Our heart rate speeds up. So if you are somebody who finds that throughout the day you take big gasps of air and hold it, you're increasing your heart rate. And there is no way to feel calm and relaxed when you do that. Conversely, when we exhale, we stimulate the vagus nerve to the sinoatrial node of the heart, and our heart rate slows down. Let's just play with that right now before we even do anything else with this meditation. I invite you to take a big breath in and hold it. And you could have a hand on your heart, or you could feel your pulse and notice what just happened to your energy, because that's the easiest thing to notice, but also what happened to your heart rate. Now let it out slowly. I'm doing it through pursed lips, slow. Maybe you can feel your heart rate slowing down, your energy sinking. And just do that a few more times on your own as I continue here. So what we're saying is we can combine a number of these elements if we're breathing and tightening our muscles of our belly, and we're using these muscles of our chest, our ribs, and our shoulders. We're going to be fatigued. If we're inhaling and holding it, we're going to create more epinephrine, cortisol. We're going to increase our heart rate and our blood pressure, and we may feel more stressed. So, we're going to do this practice right now. We're just going to play with the breath. We're just going to observe it first without trying to change it. And then we're going to shift the length of the breath. So to start, I invite you to find a comfortable upright position, one that you can feel like your spine is elongating. If you can sit away from the back of a chair, that's fine. If you need that to support you, please do, but put some pillows, blankets, bolsters to elongate the spine. You want to feel that the pubic bone and the sternum are reaching away, lengthening away from each other. And then notice where your head is. Can you just bring your head right over your shoulders, ears over your shoulders, and let your head shake from side to side, soft. And very quickly for a moment, can you just bring your awareness down from your top of your head all the way down. Notice your scalp and let it soften. Notice the muscles around the eyes, around the ears, around the nose. Now let's put this in context of breathing. We're softening these muscles to allow the breath to come in with more ease. The muscles of the cheeks, the muscles around the tongue, the lips, the muscles around the jaw and the throat. Now let's just stop here for a moment. I invite you to tense your jaw and your tongue and your eyes and take a breath in. Keep them tense and take a breath out. Now instantly soften all those muscles of the neck up and allow the breath in. Soften the muscles of the forehead, the eyes, the jaw, the tongue, and take a breath out. There's a wonderful talk, a TEDx talk, about email apnea. Apnea means breath holding. And the speaker talked about how when we look at our emails, when we look at social media, we immediately take a breath in and hold it, increasing our stress hormones. If you want to use those terms, I don't often like saying stress hormones, but we increase our heart rate. Soften the neck, the throat, the jaw, the lips, and then breathe. And let's just cascade our awareness down, our shoulders, our armpits, and our upper chest. I invite you to feel into your hands, your forearms, your upper arms. And I'm going to invite you to take a breath in and tighten, make fists. Notice the quality of that breath coming in, and then exhale, release all of that. I'm hoping you're beginning to identify that we tighten even in our hands and our arms, and it affects our breath. Let's bring our awareness down to the belly. How soft can you be in your belly? How soft can you be in your groin and your hips? What is happening in your jaw again? Did you tighten up your jaw, your lips, your tongue, your eyes? This is very challenging to keep our body soft and breathe. Soft down in the thighs, the calves, the shins, the feet. And for the next moment, scan your body. Scan your body, and if you find any residual areas of tension, I'm going to invite you to take a breath in and tighten them gently, not forcefully, but just tighten it a little bit. Hold it for the second, and then exhale, release it. People use the term mind-body. I'd like to say brain-body, whichever configuration. But hopefully what you're recognizing as we do this, emotions, this nebulous thing we call emotions, are so linked to the body. When the body is tight, our emotions are constricted. Our thoughts are focused. Soften the body, you soften the thoughts, you soften the breath. Okay, one more moment here. Any residual tension in the body, breathe it in, tighten, and breathe it out, let it all out with the breath. And so for the remainder of this practice, we're just going to be focusing on the breath. And for this first part right now, I invite you to follow the exhale. I'm not inviting you to change it or lengthen it or do anything to it. Just bring your gentle, restful gaze on the exhale. And I invite you to watch the exhale like you're watching a wave come into shore. What I like to say is ride the exhale. Don't worry about anything else. Just step on that exhale and ride it. Just be present to it until its natural conclusion. Every wave is different, as every surfer knows that. Ride the exhale. Let the mind go. Then ride the next exhale. And what you might begin to find is at the end of the exhale, there seems to be a little bit of a pause. Not on every exhale. It's as if you're watching that wave. You're sitting on the shore, you watch the wave, and it's almost that moment where the water stops moving altogether. It's not moving in, it's not moving out. It just seems like there's a magical pause. If you feel such a pause, ride the next exhale and settle your entire brain, body, mind, body into the pause. And then catch the next exhale. You might find that the exhales begin to extend just a little bit. Maybe it's a millisecond. Maybe the pause rests a little bit longer. So we're simply riding the exhale and we're settling, sinking, softening into that pause. Now, having settled into the pause, allow everything to release, from jaw to shoulders, from shoulder blades to buttocks, from collarbones to pubic bone, from armpits to hips. All the muscles soften. And we allow the next breath in. This is very gentle. Ride the exhale. Rest in any pause, if there is, softening everything. And allow the breath in. If you find that you're forcing, you're pushing or struggling, let it go. Let it go. Just put all that intention, that tension, that drive on the very next exhale. And blow it out. This becomes our dance. It's a dance that is always evolving, always changing. We're present to this very next exhale. We don't know how long it will be. We don't know how smooth or bumpy it might be. We're curious if there's a pause. There might not be. Maybe there is. And we allow the body to soften. Then, in that state of release, it's like we open our arms wide and say, hey, breath, come on in. Ride the next exhale. Rest in the pause. And allow. You might find that mind is slippery. Your thoughts begin to go off elsewhere. You might find little thoughts creeping in of, am I doing it right? How long are we going to do this? Or you might find that your mind completely jumps ship and it goes elsewhere to what you're going to be doing later today, something in the past. Now, when that happens, this is a great opportunity to practice what changed in your breathing. In fact, I can invite us to do that right now. Think about something you have to do today that you're telling yourself you have to get done. Watch what changed in your breath. Where did the tightness creep in? Did you take a bigger inhale? Did you hold the inhale or did you hold the exhale? Did the body change posture? Shake it all off physically. Shake your body if you need to. Really shake your body. And we begin once more. See if you can step on the next exhale. Ride that wave to the shore. Don't force the pause. There might not be a pause this time. It might just naturally come back into an inhale. But if you find a pause, invite your entire being to settle and allow the next breath in. In this way, we can become present to our momentary experience. An ache, a pain might arise. There might be sounds outside our room that are unpleasant. We can notice by turning clearly to the body and the breath, not our thoughts, not our judgments. We can bypass that and just notice, how am I orienting in my body and my breath? While I think of those things I have to do, or I'm telling myself I have to do, while I'm hearing that unpleasant sound, while I'm feeling that discomfort in my body, can I ride the exhale? Rest in the pause and allow the breath in. Now, at the start of this practice, I mentioned chest and belly breathing. I talked about inhale and exhale. And while those are indications of what's happening in this practice, I'm inviting us not to force the breath. If you say to yourself, wow, that inhale's longer and I'm holding it, ooh, bad. Put that thought down, blow it out, begin again. So let's do this silently for just a minute here. We're going to ride the exhale, rest in the pause, and allow. And if thoughts come up, note that, note what changes in the breath. Begin again. So I'll go silent and then you'll hear my voice calling us back in a moment. Notice what you're feeling now. Notice what that's like to feel riding the exhale, resting in the pause and allowing. As we all know, the ocean is never the same. Even on quiet days or stormy days, each wave is different. Can we just be present to the wave? And here's my challenge for you throughout the day. Anytime you start to use those very inaccurate, no, I shouldn't say inaccurate, these very indescribable, unclear words like stressed, anxious, check in with your breath. Check in with your body. Now, I'm not saying don't feel the way you're feeling or even trying to change the feeling. I'm asking if you can be curious what your body is doing. What's your breath doing in those moments? And then to ask yourself, do I want to hold my breath? Do I want to tighten my thighs? Do I want to brace my hands? And then intentionally, if you want, ride the exhale. Rest in the pause and allow. So before we end today, let's practice a little gratitude. Let's start with our lungs. Now, even if you are dealing with suffering from some respiratory ailments, if you're still here doing this practice, your lungs are working on some level. Let's take a moment to offer them some gratitude, thank them for their tireless work. Luckily, we do not have to take a moment every minute to remind them to breathe. And let's just expand that out, thanking our heart for continuing to beat. It knows what to do. It's responsible for taking the oxygenated air and pumping it throughout the body, causing the deoxygenated blood to come back for exchange. Let's thank the rest of our body and our brain for being here today. Let's go a little bit bigger. What if we thank all the plants, all plant life, without whom we really wouldn't be breathing? Let's take a moment to thank the earth for all of its support. Really, without the trees and the plants, we won't be breathing. And let's end by taking a moment to thank, if you feel comfortable, all sentient beings. May all people everywhere be safe. May all people everywhere be healthy. May all people everywhere be at peace. May all people everywhere go gently, knowing their goodness. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back here Thursday